My boyfriend came home at 3 a.m., smelling like expensive perfume and covered in glitter. When I asked him where he had been, he looked me dead in the eye and said he had been helping a friend move. I pointed out that people don't usually wear glitter to move furniture, and he claimed the friend's sofa was from a very eccentric disco-themed estate sale. He actually expected me to believe he was covered in 1970s couch dust. I found a pair of lacy red underwear in the glove box of my husband's truck. When I held them up, he didn't even blink. He looked at me and said, "Oh, those? I bought those to use as a high-visibility rag for when I have to haul long pieces of lumber in the back. I wanted something bright that would really catch the driver's eyes for safety." I've never heard a more ridiculous safety excuse in my life. My fiancé told me he was going on a strict business retreat where no phones were allowed for 3 days. On the second day, I saw him tagged in a photo at a local pool party with his ex on Facebook. When he got home, he claimed that he has a genetic doppelganger who lives in the same city and constantly ruins his reputation by being a party animal. He even offered to go to a DNA lab to prove it. I noticed my girlfriend's phone kept buzzing with messages from a contact saved as Olive Garden manager. It seemed weird since she doesn't work there. One night, a message popped up saying, "I miss your skin." When I asked her about it, she tried to convince me that the restaurant was testing a new, extremely aggressive and personalized marketing campaign to make customers feel more at home. Nice try, breadstick. My husband said he was staying late at the office to finish a big project. I decided to surprise him with dinner, but the entire building was dark and the doors were locked. When I called him, he said he was inside a soundproof storage closet because the hum of the air conditioner was distracting him. I could literally hear the sound of a DJ and people cheering in the background. Apparently the storage closet was at a club. I found a receipt for a romantic jewellery store in my boyfriend's pocket for a diamond necklace. Since my birthday was the next week, I was excited. But the birthday came and went, and I got a toaster. When I asked about the receipt, he told me he was acting as a secret shopper for a government agency that investigates the quality of gold. He said he had to turn the necklace in as evidence for a federal case. My partner told me his phone was broken, and that's why he didn't answer for 10 hours. However, I could see his Bitmoji moving around on Snap Maps, specifically at a hotel downtown. When I confronted him, he claimed that a hacker group had stolen his identity and was driving around with a dummy phone just to make me paranoid. He even claimed the hackers probably looked just like him to confuse the hotel's CCTV. I caught my boyfriend at the movies with another girl. When I tapped him on the shoulder, he turned around and pretended he had no idea who I was. He spoke in a fake British accent and told me I must have him confused with someone else named David. His name is David. He has lived in Ohio his entire life. He kept up the accent for 20 minutes while walking to his car, which I had the spare keys to. My wife said she was going to a girls-only spa weekend. I found out later she was at a resort with her co-worker. When she got back, I asked why there were pictures of them at dinner together. She told me that the spa was actually a social experiment where they assigned her a platonic male partner to help her work through her subconscious biases against men. She said she was doing it for the growth of our marriage. I found a long blonde hair on the passenger seat of my boyfriend's car. I am a brunette. He told me that he had recently picked up a hitchhiker who was a professional wig maker and that the man had accidentally spilled a bag of his finest samples on the seat. He even went as far as to describe the old man's life story and how he was traveling the country to find the perfect synthetic fiber for Broadway. My boyfriend was supposedly at the gym for 5 hours. When he came home, his gym clothes were bone dry and smelled like Febreze. When I questioned why he wasn't sweaty, he told me that the gym had installed new high-velocity industrial fans that dry your skin instantly, preventing any sweat from reaching your clothes. He claimed it was a revolutionary new technology to prevent locker room odors. I saw a Tinder notification pop up on my husband's iPad. When I confronted him, he told me that he was actually working on a self-help book about the dangers of online dating. He claimed he had to create a profile and interact with women to gather research on how many people are actually looking for love versus just a fling. He said he was a digital anthropologist and I was interfering with his scientific data. I found a hotel charge on our joint credit card for a place only 20 minutes from our house. He told me that our house had a micro leak of carbon monoxide that only he could smell, and he didn't want to alarm me, so he went to the hotel to see if his headache would go away. He claimed he was testing the air quality by comparing it to the hotel's air. He stayed there for 2 full nights for science. My girlfriend came home with a hickey on her neck. She told me she was at the grocery store and a rogue vacuum sealer machine in the meat department had malfunctioned and latched onto her neck while she was reaching for some chicken. She even tried to show me a news article on her phone about dangerous grocery store equipment, but it was just a blank notes page she had typed a fake headline into. My boyfriend missed our anniversary dinner because he said his car spontaneously ran out of electricity. It's a gas car. When he finally showed up, he had a scratch on his back. He told me he got it because he had to crawl through a briar patch to find a payphone because his cell phone had also magnetically demagnetized near the car. He really thought the double freak accident logic would work. I found a second phone hidden in the spare tire compartment of his car. When I turned it on, it was full of messages from multiple women. He told me that the phone wasn't his, but that he had found it in a park and was keeping it charged in case the owner called. He said he was waiting for the right moment to return it to the police, but wanted to verify the owner's identity himself first. My husband told me he was going to a bachelor party in Las Vegas. I later found out the bachelor had been married for 5 years. When I asked him what was going on, he said it was a reenactment bachelor party because the original one was so bad that the groom wanted a do-over to heal his trauma. He claimed it was a therapeutic weekend and they spent the whole time talking about their feelings. I saw a reflection in my boyfriend's sunglasses of a girl in a bikini sitting on his lap while he was supposedly fishing with the guys. When I sent him the screenshot, he told me that the reflection was actually a very realistic sticker he had placed on his lenses as a joke to prank his friends. He said, I was seeing a 2D image and my jealousy was warping my perception of three-dimensional space. My girlfriend told me she was staying at her mum's house for the weekend. I called her mum to check in, and her mum said she hadn't seen her in weeks. When my girlfriend came back, she told me that her mum has early onset amnesia that only lasts for a few hours at a time, and that her mum had simply forgotten the entire visit. She even got mad at me for triggering her mum's medical condition. I found a receipt for a dinner for 2 at a fancy French restaurant on a night he said he was eating ramen at his desk. He told me that he went there alone, but the waiter felt so sorry for him being so lonely and hard-working that the staff sat a mannequin dressed in women's clothing across from him so he wouldn't look pathetic. He claimed the second meal was for the mannequin to complete the look. My boyfriend told me he was late because he got stuck in an elevator with a pregnant woman and had to deliver the baby himself. When I asked why there was nothing on the news, he said the woman was a high-ranking secret agent and the baby's birth was a matter of national security. He said the blood on his shirt was actually just special tactical fluid used during the delivery process. I found a video on his phone of him singing karaoke with another woman and kissing her. He told me that it was a deep fake created by his enemies at work who wanted his promotion. He said the technology is so advanced now that bad actors can superimpose his face onto any romantically active person. He even pointed out a glitch in the video that was clearly just him blinking in the strobe lights. My husband started coming home with gifts from his boss, like expensive watches and cologne. I finally met his boss, who is a very frugal woman who barely buys coffee. When I asked him about it later, he said he had a second secret boss for a special undercover project that paid him in luxury goods instead of cash to avoid tax complications. He called it his high-value asset assignment. I caught my boyfriend walking out of a jewelry store with his ex-girlfriend. He told me that he had accidentally bumped into her, and she had suddenly gone blind due to a temporary medical flare-up. He claimed he was simply guiding her to the nearest exit, which just happened to be through the Diamond Aisle. He said he was being a good Samaritan, and I was being ableist for questioning him. My wife told me she was working late, but her car's GPS showed she was at a park for 3 hours. She claimed that she had lent her car to a homeless man so he could have a safe place to nap for a while, and she had taken an Uber to work instead. When I asked for the Uber receipt, she said she had paid in cash and the driver was a sovereign citizen who didn't believe in providing receipts. I found a photo of my boyfriend at a wedding with another woman as his +1. He told me that he was hired as a professional seat filler because the bride was worried about the room looking empty. He said the woman in the photo was also a seat filler and they were instructed to look like a couple to make the wedding photos look more traditional. He claimed he didn't even know her name. My boyfriend told me he was going to a meditation retreat where silence was mandatory. I found out he was at a music festival. His excuse? He said the festival was actually a test of spiritual willpower, where you have to remain silent and meditative while surrounded by extreme noise. He claimed he won the Inner Peace Award for the weekend and was disappointed I didn't support his journey. I found a lipstick stain on his shirt that was bright purple. I never wear purple. He told me that he was walking past a beauty school and a student had tripped while holding a wand, accidentally painting his collar. He said he didn't wash it off because he didn't want to destroy the evidence in case he decided to sue the school for property damage. He actually looked up frivolous lawsuit lawyers. My husband said he was going to the hardware store but was gone for 6 hours. When he came back, he had no bags. He told me he spent the entire time consulting with a master carpenter about a secret anniversary gift he was building for me. 3 years later, I am still waiting for this gift. He now claims the carpenter was a ghost or a spirit of craftsmanship that disappeared before the project finished. I saw a message on my boyfriend's phone from Dad that said, "Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again." When I asked why his dad was being so weirdly affectionate, he admitted that Dad was actually a code name for his underground poker league. He said the amazing night referred to a big win, and the "see you again" was about the next tournament. He forgot his dad's name is actually Steve. My girlfriend told me she couldn't come over because her house was being fumigated for rare poisonous spiders. I drove by and saw all the lights on and her car in the driveway. She told me the spiders were actually holographic projections used by the government to test local reflexes, and she was ordered to stay inside to act as a control subject for the experiment. She said she was serving her country. I found a pair of men's cufflinks in my wife's purse. She told me she found them on the sidewalk and was holding on to them because she was planning to start a lost and found Instagram page for the neighborhood. She said she was trying to build community spirit and that I was stifling her civic duty by being suspicious of a couple of shiny pieces of metal that meant nothing to her.